What if he was here? Maybe I would strangle him. Maybe I would strangle him because some of some of his associates, I still want to strangle them.
Made him jiggy and put him in suits and made them write lyrics for him and took all that publishing and them. You know what's crazy? I never saw Biggie smile until after he died.
Oh my gosh, we're talking about none other than the notorious B.I.G. And honey, this story is more twisted than a pretzel at a baseball game. What if everything we thought we knew about Biggie's death was just the tip of the iceberg? Could Diddy, the man behind Bad Boy Records, have been pulling the strings all along?
Made him jiggy and put him in suits and made them write lyrics for him and took all that publishing and them. Made him jiggy and put him in suits and I saw, I was like, wow, man. He was really enjoying his life, and they got taken away from him. So it was then that I cherished the smile. It was then. Wow, wow. Thank you for that. I saw, I was like, wow, man. He was.
But everybody was saying, dude shouldn't have came out there. You know what I'm saying?
Now, let's break this down, because it's about to get real, y'all. We're diving into the real reason Biggie was in LA, the untold story behind his music rights, and some shocking truths that are only coming out now. It's like opening Pandora's box, but instead of hope at the bottom, we've got more questions than a pop quiz. The tragedy of Biggie's death has been haunting hip-hop for decades, but recent revelations from his own mother and close associates are making us question everything we thought we knew. Was it really just bad luck that Biggie found himself in LA, or was there something more sinister at play?
Everybody I encountered, every and gangbanger and every nigga that I encountered was saying, man, don't need to be out here. He shouldn't have came out here.
Diddy's involvement, his control over
Biggie's career, and these alleged gay tapes, it's all painting a picture that's more disturbing than my attempt at cutting my own bangs. How much did Diddy know, and was he the real mastermind behind the events leading to Biggie's untimely death? Biggie's mom is finally breaking her silence on these matters, and what she has to say is more devastating than finding out your favorite lipstick has been discontinued. She's not giving up, and neither are we. We're about to dig deep into these allegations, including why Biggie might have been trying to leave Bad Boy Records, the disturbing tapes that could have been used to blackmail him, and the shady circumstances surrounding his death. Now, here's the tea. Biggie was in LA the night he was unalived, but according to multiple sources, he wasn't even supposed to be there. Biggie himself was reportedly more hesitant about the trip than I am about trying a new hairstyle.
Pac just got killed. It ain't no kind of business Big was doing. Big couldn't even walk. He couldn't run. They was pushing him around in a wheelchair, brother.
Tupac Shakur had been unalived in Las Vegas just months earlier, and tensions were still higher than my blood pressure during a sale at Sephora. Yet, Diddy pressured Biggie to go, despite knowing the risks. Sources say Diddy had other motivations. Some allege he needed to secure Biggie's music rights and keep him under his thumb. And there are even darker rumors that Biggie was planning to leave Bad Boy Records altogether, which would have been more disastrous for Diddy than me running out of concealer on picture day. One of the major reasons Biggie might have been trying to leave Bad Boy was a battle over music rights. Reports have surfaced that Diddy was withholding publishing from Biggie, and according to close friends, Biggie's lawyers were fighting tooth and nail to get back what was rightfully his.
He wanted his marketing and his publishing back. That he said that the management that he had at the time, Mark Pitts and Wayne Barrows, who were Puff Free.
It was well known in the industry that Diddy was more relentless about artist royalties than I am about finding the perfect selfie angle. Some say Diddy had warned Biggie that he'd be dead before getting his publishing back. A threat that seems even more chilling now in light of Biggie's unalivement.
Listen, Kirk Burrows said that Puff told him, man, you'll be dead before I give you all your publishing back.
But wait, it gets even crazier. Biggie's mom, Voletta Wallace, has been spilling some serious tea. She's convinced that Diddy had a hand in her son's death, whether directly or indirectly. Can you imagine? A mother's pain mixed with betrayal and anger, it's heartbreaking. Voletta didn't hold back in her book, Biggie. She wrote, and I quote, "I'm glad my son does not have to witness that the very people that he thought he could ride and die with wouldn't think twice about using his mother. Ouch. That's gotta hurt more than walking on Legos barefoot." She even revealed how much money Biggie got when he signed with Bad Boy. Are you ready for this? $25,000. I know, in today's terms, that's like nothing. But for a 19-year-old Biggie, it was enough to make him believe Diddy would do anything for him. Voletta called it enough to buy a blind love and loyalty. Talk about a reality check. But Voletta's not just throwing shade. She's been fighting for justice for years. In an interview with the Daily Mail, she dropped this bombshell. I have a very good idea who took down Christopher, and I genuinely believe that the LAPD know exactly who did too. She thinks there's a giant conspiracy and someone's being protected. I mean, if that doesn't scream cover-up, I don't know what does. Now, let's talk about these mysterious gay tapes that keep popping up in the story. According to DMX and other sources, Biggie was never the same after a particular meeting with Diddy.
Made him jiggy and put him in suits and made them write lyrics for him and took all that publishing and you know what's crazy? I never saw Biggie smile until after he died.
The rumor is that Diddy used these tapes to keep Biggie in check and stop him from leaving Bad Boy Records. It's like something straight out of a scandalous TV drama. But this is real life, folks. Speaking of real-life drama, let's talk about Biggie trying to leave Bad Boy Records. Multiple sources claim that Biggie was fed up with Diddy's leadership and was looking for a way out. In an interview, Gene Deal dropped this bombshell. Biggie was planning to get his publishing rights back from Diddy and had a lucrative deal worth more than $60 million in the works. Can you imagine? That's more zeros than I can count on both hands.
Puff had robbed Big, and Big was robbing Puff.
Can you imagine? That's more zeros than I can count on both hands. Now let's talk about that fateful night in LA. John Deal, a former bodyguard for Diddy, has some seriously spicy claims. He says,
Wasn't no drive-by. Car was standing there at the corner. We talk about all the time, bruh. The stories they tell, it's not truthful.
Biggie's death wasn't just a random drive-by shooting. John even says that Diddy lied to Biggie's mother about not knowing him because he was afraid Gene would spill all the tea about what really happened that night.
He didn't tell Miss Wallace because he knew I wasn't gonna lie to Big's mama. He knew I was gonna tell Miss Wallace everything that happened.
But wait, there's more. Gene dropped another bombshell about the cars that night. Apparently, Biggie's car was covered in stickers, which is a big no-no for rental cars. And guess who had access to put those stickers on? The street team hired by Bad Boy Records. Oh, and Diddy's car? Sticker-free. Suspicious much?
Because somebody wanted to know, yo, if y'all gonna get big, to go to the car with the stickers on.
Gene didn't stop there. He spilled even more tea about Diddy's lack of security for Biggie. Despite the tension between East and West Coast, Diddy, who was in charge of Biggie's career, didn't provide adequate protection. It's like sending someone into a lion's den with a plastic fork for protection.
So only one that has an opportunity and only one that could have done that was somebody from the street team.
Gene also pointed fingers at someone else in Biggie's crew, a guy named D-Rock. Apparently, Gene warned D-Rock to avoid Diddy's planned route, but D-Rock ended up leading Biggie to the Peterson Museum after party anyway. It's like a twisted game of follow the leader, but with deadly consequences. Now let's talk about that security team. According to Gene, Biggie's security team of 7 or 8 people was mostly unarmed. I'm sorry, what? In the middle of a dangerous feud and they're basically carrying water guns. And get this, Gene says it was Diddy's orders that left the security team unarmed. It's like he was setting Biggie up to be a sitting duck. But it's not just Gene spilling the tea. MCI, a respected voice in the hip-hop world, has his own thoughts. He questions whether Biggie's death was really a result of Tupac's accusations. MCI believes it was a premeditated setup, not just a consequence of the East Coast-West Coast beef. Then we've got Spice One, who was in LA when Biggie visited. He says everyone knew Biggie's life was in danger if he came to LA. It's like Biggie walked into a trap that everyone could see except him.
Me being Biggie, would I have came to LA knowing Pac died? And that animosity and the death row and beef was still going on, I would have never jumped on that motherfucker.
Now, here's where it gets really wild. Some people actually think Diddy was the intended target, not Biggie.
Everybody I encountered, every and gangbanger and every nigga that I encountered was saying, man, that don't need to be out here. He shouldn't have came out here. You know what I'm saying?
Gene Deal claims he has evidence suggesting Diddy was the real target that night. Apparently, Diddy's security team got a tip about a hit and moved him to a hotel, leaving Biggie behind at the museum. It's like a twisted game of musical chairs, but with deadly consequences.
Go nowhere that night. I said, Puff, I got some intel. The guys are coming to tonight at the museum park.
And we can't forget about Jaguar Wright, a neo-soul singer who's made some serious claims about Diddy's involvement. She says Diddy had a motive for wanting Biggie dead because he saw him as a threat to his own success. It's like a real life, there can only be one situation.
Puffy has been making money off of Biggie's name for longer than Biggie was alive. People keep forgetting he hadn't turned 25 yet. He was still 24 when he died.
Now, let's take a moment to remember who Biggie was. Born in Brooklyn in 1972, he quickly became a legend in the hip-hop scene. His debut album, Ready to Die, in 1994, was a game-changer, establishing him as one of the most talented rappers of his generation.
The more money you make, the more problems you get. And jealousy and envy is something that comes with the territory, man. A lot of people, it's just negative energy.
But with success came controversy and violence. The East Coast-West Coast feud was no joke, and many believe Biggie and Tupac's deaths were connected to this ongoing rivalry. On that tragic night, March 9, 1997, Biggie attended a party hosted by Vibe magazine in LA. As he was leaving in a GMC Suburban, a vehicle pulled up and opened fire. Biggie was hit 4 times, including a fatal shot to the chest. He was rushed to the hospital but pronounced dead less than an hour later. It was a loss that shook the music world to its core. Despite a massive investigation, the case went unsolved for nearly a decade. Theories ranged from police corruption to rival gangs, and even involvement from within the music industry itself. It's like a real-life murder mystery, but with no satisfying ending. In the years since Biggie's death, his impact on hip-hop has only grown. He's inspired generations of artists and is recognized as one of the most influential figures in the genre. But for those closest to him, his family, friends, and fans, the pain of losing him never fully went away. Biggie's mother, Voletta Wallace, became a fierce advocate for justice. She spent years trying to uncover the truth about who was really responsible for her son's unalivement. She's made public pleas, asking anyone with information to step forward. It's like watching a mother's love turn into a force of nature. But Voletta didn't stop at seeking justice. She's also been committed to keeping Biggie's legacy alive. She manages his estate and created the Christopher Wallace Memorial Foundation, which offers educational opportunities to kids in Brooklyn. It's like she's turning her pain into purpose, making sure Biggie's impact continues even after his death. As new revelations keep surfacing, Biggie's death is being looked at through a different lens. Diddy's role in the story is being questioned more than ever. It's like peeling back layers of an onion, with each layer revealing more shocking truths. So what do we make of all this, besties? Was Biggie's death really just a tragic result of the East Coast-West Coast feud? Or was there something more sinister at play? Was Diddy involved, or is he just an easy target for blame? And will we ever really know the full truth? One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. As more people come forward with their stories, former friends, bodyguards, fellow artists, it's becoming clear that there's much more to Biggie's death than we ever knew. It's like a puzzle where we're still finding new pieces even after all these years. What do you think, loves? Are you team, it was just gang violence? Or are you suspicious of Diddy's involvement? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more juicy celebrity tea. Remember, in the world of hip-hop and Hollywood, the truth is often stranger than fiction. And in Biggie's case, it seems like we're still far from knowing the whole truth. But one thing's for certain, Biggie's legacy lives on, and his impact on music and culture will never be forgotten. Until next time, stay fabulous, stay curious, and keep asking questions, because sometimes it's the questions that keep legends like Biggie alive. You are watching Hot Gossip. Goodbye. Gossip. Goodbye.